Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, bright Bill.
That's right, man. Look at this light.
No kidding.
You can
That's
see
great.
every old man line on my forehead. It's pretty awesome.
That's right. And I can actually read your whiteboard. Like
That
that's
is true.
quality.
Yes, I put this light up. Had to go clean this immediately because it was just filthy and disgusting. It was kind of yeah. It was very necessary. So
Yeah, yeah. That's what it would take to read mine. Mine's so far away back there. I need like the sun, literally. Like,
pretty much yes. And like one of those telephoto lenses that's like this long on the front of your webcam. So it just you need a crane around the front to keep it all balanced, or else it just falls over every time.
that's right. That's right. Good morning, Brian.
Man,
Good to see you again.
good morning, Brian. Um, good morning, Michael. Uh,
Michael, what's up, man?
yeah, the light is awesome. Really, really. Now I want because I'm me. I'm like, well, I've got on this side,
Yeah.
and now
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
one for this side.
Oh no. The videographer in my head's going, fantastic lighting. There's a huge shadow. We got to fix the shadow.
Yeah, I know. It's it's tomorrow morning, Obed. You're a day early, sir. Tomorrow morning.
Oh, gotcha.
C-
Gotcha.
Congrats, everybody. That is Obed. He's going to be our guest tomorrow. He is the head of organic social for Client Boost, which is a huge, huge pay per click agency run by a man named Jonathan Dane, who is very, very, very good at what he does. And I met Jonathan Dane a long time ago because I took a course from Conversion Excel. Pep Laja and those people were putting on like a big SEO course, and Jonathan Dane was doing the PPC side of it. So Abed is going to be coming on tomorrow, talking about content and social and streaming and the things that people do right and things that people do wrong, spoiling all the alerts. So tomorrow morning, it's going to be it's going to be rad. We're talking all things content. We're talking about gaming. We're talking about everything. It's going to be so rad. Yep,
Yep.
time zones, my friend. They are brutal, right? Working
Mhm.
globally means
Mhm.
having to deal with it for sure.
It's very true. It's very true. I'm already having to deal with some of that. My job that because we have clients in Australia and England and
Oh yeah,
Germany and
yeah.
all over the place. So
Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Mike Tal, Mr. Regular. How are you?
yes, yes. I
Um,
think Tal should add that to his tag. Is
yeah,
Mike Tal
probably
dash
yes,
Mr. Regular? Yeah.
Mr. Regular. Yes, that should be his LinkedIn headline.
Yep.
Um, why do you pop up on my phone when I get in my car to go golfing, Brian? I think the better question, sir, is how much are you golfing? This is the
Yeah.
daily show, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
That's right.
not mad at you. I'm pretty
I
proud,
know.
honestly.
I think
But
the even better question is how come we're not out golfing with you and have the show pop up on our phone? Why aren't we
that
out there with you?
that's the question I want to know.
Yeah.
That's way better.
Okay. Well,
Man,
we had so in your group,
mhm.
you got a fantastic Slack group for those that don't know.
Thank you, thank you.
Um,
It's
and
one of the coolest
how
things
you
I've
describe
built.
it first? How you describe it? Your Slack
Um,
group,
it is a group of people who uh, are
John wants to hang out with.
driven. Probably. They're a group of driven people who understand that humans are still very much doing the driving of things, right? So they have empathy, they care about their people, they care about themselves, they're very aware, and they are all essentially using their mouths to get money, right? So they're all coaches, teachers, consultants. I have like four other sales coaches in there, which someone was like, "Why do you have so many other sales coaches? Why would I not? They just make me better."
Yeah.
So the Slack community is one of the coolest things I've built. I'm pretty proud of it. I would love it to be bigger, but I'm not willing to compromise the quality of the people in there. I haven't had to ban anybody in over a year, which is really, really, really cool. I don't let
Yes.
many people in though, so
But I'll say, the admission to get in, it's not a one come all community, right?
no, no, it's not. So it might move to that eventually once like the base group is big enough, right? Then
Mhm.
I might do some colder stuff and everything. But right now I was how do I say this the right way? I started out just trying to build a group, and then about halfway through I realized that's the wrong intention, and I'm doing this the wrong way, and I need to build it. It's not going to be a group that anybody else wants to hang out in if I don't make it the group that I want to hang out in. And so from that point forward, my intention around it shifted a little bit, right? So I want it to be the first place that I'm going to go, so that way it becomes the place that other people go first, and it's slowly becoming that thing, which I'm grateful
Yep.
about because
Yep.
yeah, it's
And
cool.
I think Q does a good job talking about this. Our guest from a couple weeks ago, Quentin Michael, and he says that stop concentrating on building a group and
Hmm.
start concentrating on being a group that's awesome to be around, building community, and then your group will grow as a result of that. But if you're concentrated on building the group, you're not treating the group the right way. Yep,
I
you
love
as you
that.
should, sir, as you
Brian,
should.
I'm waiting for your 24.97 course
Mhm.
on how to do that.
Mhm.
Uh, Building the culture first. That's right. Mike Tao's got a great little community for what he's working on over there. It's a bunch of
No way.
manufacturers and stuff. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
Not
that's
not
right.
not super active, or maybe I'm just not seeing it, but it's cool, right? Community is. It, I don't know why people wouldn't build one at this point, you know, but that's largely an aside. So what? So what? Why were you? Why were
Oh
you?
yeah. So
Where were you
well,
going?
the reason I brought that up is because one of the things I had a Slack group last year that I kind of dropped because I was really doing the wrong thing. I was doing it to build a group to
Hmm.
try and create some opportunities for lead gen, and I obviously I loved the group I had in the community,
Hmm.
lots of conversations and things like that. But one of the things I saw was a lot of people just like showing up and having other people around
Yeah.
and other people they could talk to and bounce ideas off of and just be accountable. And we had somebody else talking about paying for a course and paying for an app and paying for some different things yesterday in your group around
Hmm.
accountability,
Yeah.
daily accountability. And we just kind of wanted us to reset just a little bit to go, hey, that's actually one of the main reasons me and John restarted
Yeah.
because selfishly, John and I like showing up and talking to each other about our days. Hey, this is coming up. I might need some
Yeah.
help here, or hey, have you thought about that? So if you guys want to throw your stuff in the chat, we would love to
Let's
see what you got
just
going on.
how to
Like
go yesterday.
yeah,
Let's just talk about it.
yeah, yeah. Let's just get in there.
So you have 1,200 people in that group, Mike Town. Good for you, man. That's awesome.
Nice, very cool.
Yeah. DMs, right? Lots of conversation in the
Yeah,
background. It goes down in the DMs. That's awesome.
that's right.
So yesterday for me, let's see. I got my sit in after the show. I got 10 reach outs done, which was double the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Gives me a little bit of buffer. I did not do my 30 minutes of movement because I was just wiped yesterday,
Okay.
right? And
Okay.
so we'd adjusted that bet. So I'll get back on the track of that today, which is going to be kind of difficult because I have a stacked day. But yeah, so
Just
did
working on it.
everything except for the 30 minutes of movement, and so I'll be knocking that out today. Um, nothing really too crazy. Had a great coaching call with a brand new marketing and salesperson. So we're talking about the world essentially, like we're talking about social and websites and strategies and everything else like that. And it's cool because I've never had to coach someone who's like a first day salesperson and marketer. So there's a lot to try
Oh
to
yeah.
press into this person, and she's working for someone who's very busy and has her working in kind of two different locations and stuff like that. So she's swamped and busy and figuring it out, and it's cool to see her get there, and the mindset shifts and the lights on changes and things like that. It's so huge.
Yeah.
Um, had that, and had a great lunch club call actually. So there's gonna be someone else coming into the Sherpa Slack because I met them on lunch club yesterday. Super cool human. Um, has been through an exit. He said that he didn't do a good job because he didn't talk about any kind of equity or anything, so he didn't really get it out of there. And he goes, "You live and you learn," and I was like, "Yeah, you do." So really cool guy. Hopefully he actually wants to come hang out and wasn't just like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll come hang out," because that sometimes happens.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, that was the day yesterday. Nothing crazy. Gamed afterwards, which was like necessary after not doing it on Tuesday.
Right.
Um, shot some people in the face on my video game, and then got crushed in my second video game. So I'm like pretty much par for the course.
Yeah.
And yeah, what about you?
I had a one-on-one with my boss with my weekly. That was
Oh
yesterday.
yeah,
So that was a good measurement point. Had some good conversations about how to kind of get some more traction over the next 7 to 10 days. Uh,
Nice.
so that actually turned out to be really nice. Not just a hey, how's it going? We actually talked
Hmm.
about some measurables that we can actually work towards moving forward, and talk
Ooh,
to my CEO a little bit, book some time on his uh, calendar, and just I shared some stuff that was out of my lane, because my lane is a head coach here, and not a marketer. But I was
hmm.
like, hey, if we want to stay ahead of everyone else, there's a couple things we need to consider. So really open. I really
Nice.
like talking to him because he's super super open. He likes to hear that stuff. So
Cool.
so that was cool. And then I did barely get my movement in, but I wanted nothing to do with it, honestly, and I drug myself to the gym and did it, and then felt really good
Good for
afterwards.
you. Good for
But,
you.
but I couldn't miss yesterday, otherwise I would have missed my week goal. So
Yeah, for sure.
that's how we did yesterday. Pretty good, pretty good.
Nice.
So
Michelle has got a little bit of struggle. Yesterday was tough, so out of my element with these cold calls. However, I'm consistent with one a day. Nice.
okay,
Okay.
great.
Yeah. I'm curious because I can't help myself, Michelle. I'm curious. What does one mean? One call, one dial, one conversation? Does a voicemail left count? All these
Right.
things matter. When I'm cold calling and when I'm helping other people cold call, uh, it doesn't really count until you have a conversation. So, counting dials is a way to measure the activity and like a way to establish your baseline. But try to, if you can, try to get it so that way you're having at least one conversation with someone a day and then putting it down, because you might call 20 people and get 20 voicemails. One call, actual conversation. Okay,
Yeah.
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Very cool.
How what how do I say
Well,
this
let
the
me
right
let me
way?
ask this, because I before you jump into more weeds on that, like I'm
Yeah,
curious,
please.
what you think, and y'all in the comments too. Like, what do y'all think um, gets
Morning
you
good.
past the discomfort, right? Of gosh, this is really tough making cold calls. Like, what's
Ooh.
what's what's going to happen for you to not feel that discomfort, or at least to the degree that it's at?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, yeah. And if you're in the comments, obviously, there's a lot of people out there who cold call too. So
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Yeah, what do you think? And then if you've got thoughts,
So the biggest shift for cold calling around me was like changing what the goal was, right? Because like I was thinking when I first started this thing, I was like, you're calling someone out of the blue and you're trying to sell them something like right there on that call. No, that's not it at all, right? People don't have the time for that or the attention span, and you're just going to get a bunch of no's and very, very emotional, abrasive push offs, right? So what you're doing is you're calling to set a meeting,
yep.
right? So my coach called it selling the conversation, which is fine, but like you're not trying to sell a product. You're trying to see if this person needs your help, right? So, Michelle, this is a cold call. We've never actually spoken before. It's my first time trying to reach you. I've been working with these kinds of people to do these kinds of things, and it's been helping these people. Would a conversation or a cup of coffee make sense?
Hmm.
When could we meet?
Hmm.
Nothing too crazy, but acknowledge the fact that it's a cold interaction. Acknowledge the fact that you're kind of popping up out of the middle of the day and you're not going to take up too much of their time. Put in like a nice kind of value statement, right, or a pain statement, however you want to do that, and then
Yep.
just ask for a meeting.
Yep.
So
Yep. Exactly. So Mike says his goal is to have a quality conversation. Mike, what does that mean? Quality conversation. How do you measure what a quality conversation is?
yeah, that's good.
And then Arbon, the first no you convert into a yes. That's pretty close to what my answer was going to be. The first time it works. You book a meeting, it's like, okay, I can
Yeah,
do this. It's like,
I
because I was
mean,
going to say repetition, but repetition really doesn't help if you don't succeed. It's just like you're more
oh
comfortable with your script per se, but
man,
not cold calling.
I don't know that I agree with that statement, Bill. I think that failure is like a key part of the process, right? Because
True. But if you don't succeed for 25 calls, you just hit 25 failures out of the gate.
mhm.
It doesn't feel a lot more comfortable to keep doing the
Oh
cold
yeah,
calling.
no,
That's what
not
that's
at
what I'm
all.
saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's why you have to set a goal around it before you start. Because if you just sit down and you're like, okay, you're taking these like deep breaths to like psych yourself into it. You're like listening to Eye of the Tiger and everything to like make an unknown quantity of, no one makes it through an unknown quantity of cold calls. So, set a goal, set a time, do it for that time period. Just make it an activity. Don't put your emotions into it. So if you know that over 1 hour you can sit there and dial people and have one conversation, put that hour on your time block and just make it a thing that you do. Try to not get your feelings invested into it. Am I having good conversations with people? Is my tone, is my cadence, or is my tonality okay? Because sample size matters, right? You might talk to 25 people who all just recently bought houses. They don't need to talk to Michelle right now, right? So, that's why having a bigger volume, so that way you can just kind of do it without getting your feelings wrapped up into it. Man, the first 5 people I called were all terrible to me. Well, okay, maybe they're busy. Maybe they don't need you. That's okay. It's not indicative of how it's always going to be. So, yeah. Yes, that's how I think about it. And then inside of there is like chunking down that big cold call, because I agree with what Arabang is saying here, that like small successes build up to being successful. So, you're going to get some pushback. How'd you get my number? Great question. And there's all kinds of debates about how to do it, but you're going to be hit with questions that are not part of your script. And this is where the practice and the sales craft really come into play, because how'd you get my number? Boom, you're done. Right. And lots of sales coaches talk about some less than perfectly truthful ways of getting past these things. I had a coach once, and he was like, he goes, just call them and say you have a note with their name on it. And so this is a group class. I remember this conversation so long ago. This is one of the very first things I did. And so group program. Yeah. Just, hey, my name is John. I'm with Adapted Growth. And I don't know if this is going to ring any bells, but I have a note here with your name on it. Does that ring any bells for you? No. Okay. So
here's what
so old school John. I've got my hand up. And the coach goes, oh God, John, okay, what is it this time? And I was like, a note with your name on it. And this guy, very, very abrasive human being, he walks over, and they had like one of the big kind of like poster board things, with like the big sheets and everything. And he goes, prospect's name, wrote it in these big things, and he ripped it off and he folded it all up and brought it over. And he was like, how about now? How do you feel about it now? And I was like, not really any better, but I guess I can talk myself into it.
Yeah.
So I did that for a while and hated it. Was very uncomfortable about like starting off these relationships and conversations with just lies, and stuff like that. So I stopped doing that and found other ways to do it. But Michelle, I don't like not having the answer either. It is the bane of my existence.
I was about to use that exact phrase. That is the bane of John's existence.
Oh yeah,
not having the answer.
Yeah. I need to have the answers. Let's see. Once I'm off script, it's downhill from there. Yeah. So there's going to be moments to where it is going to go off script, because humans are chaos machines, right? They're all a little bit different, and you don't really know who you're talking to in a cold situation and stuff. So you gotta. That's where like the study of improv and comedians and these kinds of people became so important to me, because it was like, how do I roll with that chaos? Like, I'm just here to do a job and try to do it well, and these guys want to take shots at me and pick at me and press my buttons and everything else. And so, okay, how do I go deal better with that? Well, heckling is the same thing. So how do those guys deal with it? Okay, there's some quality in how you can do that.
Yeah. And Mike just made a comment I was about to make. So on.
Frameworks make the dream work.
That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. I've heard that before.
Yeah. I think I have a sweatshirt with that on there.
You probably do. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You do take one. Frameworks are so much better because of that exact reason, obviously, because if someone says something's not in your script, you're just dead in the water. But also because it allows you to be more, to personalize it to more of your own language, your own tone, your own stories, your own, all that stuff, which makes you more human, which is the whole point. I remember when I was doing stuff at Chase, doing cold calls to set appointments. I forget what we call those nights, but basically we'd stay after an hour.
God, those were miserable.
Like win nights or bonus nights or bonus nights. Weren't they bonus nights or something? Anyway, so
Yeah.
and we had a script. We didn't have a framework. We had a script,
Hmm.
uh, and I would only take pieces of it and I made my own framework out of it because I just hated the script so bad. and
Yeah.
but what the thing is I would get stumped on something just like Michelle would say, and somebody would say something I had no idea, like, I'm kind of hungry now. I don't know why you're interrupting my dinner. You want to come eat my dinner for me? And I'd be like,
Yeah.
um, I'd love to. What are you having? That sounds great. What's on the plate
Yes.
tonight?
Hmm.
You got to be really, really. That's the first leap for me, was just being really curious, right? Because if I think that a lot of times helps you back out of a situation that you're not sure how to get out
Yeah.
of. It's like, oh yeah, what are you having?
Oh, okay.
That's amazing.
Hilarious story talking about how being confused is better than anything else. Monday, I met Sean Overton for lunch, right? And so we're going to go meet at a place. The neighborhood we're meeting in, most things are shut down on Monday, but we thought this place would be. It wasn't. Sorry, Panther City Barbecue. Maybe later. So instead, we went to Salsa Limon, which is always a jam.
Mm-hmm.
And so I pull up, I see they're closed. I call Sean. I said, "Hey, they're closed." He's like, "Yeah, I know. I looked it up. I was trying to email you, but I, didn't get there in time. I'm about 30 seconds away." I was like, "All right, cool. So we'll just figure it out when you get here." He's like, "Yeah." So then, as soon as we hang up, this big gray Toyota Tundra just like pulls into the parking lot. And I was like, "Wow, well, that's got to be Sean, right?" So I get out. I was going to give Sean a copy of the book because I hadn't seen him in like 3 years, right? So I grabbed that and I just walk over to this truck, open the door. Lo and behold, not Sean, a very large gentleman who seemed rather confused that I was just opening his door
Sure.
with all of this, and he didn't know who I was. And so I was like, "Oh my, you don't look like Sean." And he goes, "Who is Sean?" And I was like, "My fault, dude. I'm supposed to be meeting a friend. I completely botched this. I'm so sorry." And I just shut the door. And so Sean is pulling into the parking lot as I'm shutting the door, and he just like loses his mind. He just starts laughing instantly. He was like, "How did you
Scared
not
you.
get shot?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, because I was confused. I wasn't pretending like I needed to be there.
No.
That would have gotten me shot.
Yes. Yes, for
So
sure.
yeah,
That's hilarious.
confusion.
I'm so
Hooray
glad that
for confusion.
John, you have the best stories.
I was talking to Quentin the other day when we were gaming, and he goes, "This stuff doesn't happen to anybody else other than you." And I'm like, I guess not.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
So
I know 2 or 3 people in my life like that, and we're like, "Oh, you guys are the only ones that ever have this stuff happen." Like no one else. I still like probably my favorite stories, and I don't know if we probably probably have time for it today, but you got to bring the story back about your cologne sales like that.
uh yeah.
Holy cow, that was an incredible story. I was like, my side hurt. I was in pain, doubled over. Like only you, John.
Yes,
Only you.
only me. Yeah, yeah. For those of you who don't know, I spent a hellish 72 hours being
There's the tease. There it is. There's the tease.
a designer imposter cologne and perfume salesperson in the biggest scam scheme I've seen. Like I think Bernie Madoff would be proud of what these guys were building over there. So yeah, so I did that. I did that for less than a week. And the what's crazy? The next job after that was the army because it seemed like a better idea. That's how bad
Yeah.
the perfume sales
At
was.
least
So
there was some clarity of some sort there. Here's what
exactly.
you're coming for.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, cool. Let's talk about today. We got about 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
What have you got going on today that we need to check on tomorrow?
So I had two CRM builds today, which is going to be a fair amount of strategy. One is a part two, the other one is a part one. Part two
Hmm.
of the part one is tomorrow. So at the end of the
Okay.
week, we'll have two new CRMs built for two new organizations, which is very cool.
Nice.
Not the person who wanted me to do it for a third of the
Oh,
quoted
really?
cost.
You
Yeah,
weren't going to build like 33% of
you
the
know,
CRM for them?
what's crazy is I didn't even try to turn that to a yes. We had that conversation, we got done. I sent my recap email, and here's the thing: lots of people are gonna be like, "Oh, John, what kind of salesperson are you?" Well, the guy wanted to take 66% off of my pricing,
Yeah.
so
One that likes to eat.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes you can expand a budget. Sometimes it just makes more sense to say, "Hey, I don't think this is gonna work," and that's the stage that I'm at with this guy.
Yeah.
So not that we have sales lab at 10. Sales lab on Thursdays is especially cool because Jod comes in, right, and he's in the UK, so that time difference is crazy. And a
Uh-huh.
guy from one of the pipelines that I coach on is going to be coming in today as well, and he's in Dubai, so that is a hard time zone shift to deal with. So he's going to
Yeah.
be coming in to check that out. CRM build, call with my operations person. We've been doing these kind of tear downs of each other. Can I take off
Yeah.
66% of the
Michael,
results?
we
I
talked about that
promise.
yesterday for a while, man. That was something
Yes.
else. Like
Um,
I would have laughed in that guy's face. Yeah.
he caught
Oh,
me so off guard. I
you're
couldn't laugh.
serious.
Yeah.
My bad.
So I have a call with the operations person. We kind of been going through each other's stuff and kind of tearing it down and like, hey, I like this, I like this, I like this.
Nice.
Um, then I have two. Well, it looks like maybe one lunch club call. One of them might be moving around, and then I'm going to hang out with a guy named Aaron, who I got connected through Quentin. Right, Quentin tagged us on a post, reached out and had a great conversation with Aaron over DMs, and we're going to have a call today later on this evening. So
Awesome.
long day, not
Mhm.
not incredibly difficult. I also need to do my 5 reach outs for today, so I'm going to be doing that before sales lab. Get that off the plate and done.
Yep.
I'm going to
And
be doing movement and mobility. Melissa was like, she got up super early today and was like, I should just take the dog for a walk today. We're already under a heat warning, guys. It's not even 8 a.m. We're already under a heat warning, so it's kind of like, ugh. So
yeah.
I'll do my 30 minutes. I'll do my 5 reach outs. I'm going to meditate as soon as this is done because I'll need to get back into it so that way I can do my reach outs and get them done. But that's it, man. What about you?
I've actually got a in-person networking group today that I'm going to
Whoa.
up here on my side of
Whoa.
town. Yeah.
Whoa.
So
In person networking and way up there in Oklahoma? That's crazy.
that's right. That's right. One of my good buddies is hosting it. So I can't wait to go and see how he's launching it today. So I get to
Nice.
support him.
Okay. Cool.
He's starting it small, which I think is really smart. So we're going to go to that, and then I have to do 2 HubSpot certifications today, which are going to make me want to pull my fingernails out, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm. You know,
that's
yeah.
call me on that tomorrow. I have to
Yeah.
get them done today, otherwise they will not get done. They're due this week. I won't have time tomorrow, so I got to
Okay.
do it today. So that's my big thing today. I've got a couple calls. I've got some more training videos to watch. I've got some follow up on some feedback I got on
Cool.
the
Nice.
call. So I'm looking forward to looking through that. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
watched the feedback yet. And then I've got chasing a couple clients still that I saw
Okay.
guys. So yeah, pretty busy day.
Yeah. What period of the day do you plan to do your HubSpot stuff? Do you have it on
It'll
your
be before,
calendar?
I'm gonna do one before noon and one afternoon. Yes, I do. I actually have a work block before noon to get one done, and I have another work block in the afternoon. So I guess we should probably start talking about this again, huh?
Maybe. Yeah. Since we have
I mean,
Travis, just taking random guesses at it. Do you want to tell the story? Or you want me to tell the story?
you're the storyteller here. You do
Okay.
it. You do it. You do it right.
All right. So Jake and I, a long time ago, worked at a Chase Bank branch together, and I was not this version of me at all. I was a very different human at the time.
Me
And so
too.
Jake comes in, and he was talking about like he was trying to move. Like the first time I met Jake, it was at the branch, and I said, "Oh man, what are you doing?" And so we're just kind of meeting each other, figuring it out, and everything. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Why are you here?" And he goes, "Well, I want to work in marketing." And in my head, I was like, you're going to get to the marketing department from working inside of one of the branches. That seems like a big, long path. But Jake was already talking about like affiliate marketing and websites and landing pages and PPC and all this stuff. And he was really the first person I've ever kind of hung out with who was working but had side hustle and had like savvy and all this stuff. And I was kind of blown away. And there was a woman there who her name was Tamara, and she was kind of like the front desk person and very, very great human, amazing soul, right? Hilarious all over the place. And so we had really great conversations with her and relationships. And so she would call us her work husbands, right? So that would make us brothers in law. So we started calling each other brother-in-law, shortened to BiL. Here we are. And so that was 10 years ago. I didn't even have my daughter yet that we worked together in that branch because I remember
Yep.
coming in and being like, oh, you know what, Arabang, that is a great idea, sir. We will be back tomorrow.
Well, let's do that. I say
He's
let's do it.
already on it. He's already on it. He's
Let's
already
do it
figured us
tomorrow.
out.
In fact, tomorrow let's bring a guest on. How about that?
Tomorrow we are going to have a guest on, right?
I'm thinking a bod would be a good one. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think, right? So hopefully he comes back tomorrow, right? And didn't just like end his week right then and right there. But yeah, it's going to be rad chat tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. I am going, you were a banker for 20 years? Holy crap. Good for you.
God bless you.
You said
Wow.
was. So you left, right? What do you do now?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, so we used to do cold calling nights. We used to do all that stuff together, and that's how we met and got connected. And then Jake went out and did all
Bonded
this
for
agency
life.
stuff. Yeah, bonded for life, man. Honestly,
Yeah,
and
for real.
yeah, worked under an interesting, cool guy named Casey Collins, who was a lot for me to deal with at the time because he was a very high I, and I wasn't built to deal with that kind of person. And yeah, that was
Yeah.
compared to now, that seems like easy street, honestly.
Oh gosh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because he cared at least, you know.
Oh, yeah, he did care.
So
Yeah, he wanted us
he
to
cared a
succeed.
lot. Yep,
Yep,
yep, for sure.
absolutely.
Cool. So there's BiL, and then
Cool.
we've actually, I mean, we even called it Brothers in Learning last time, just because we're not in that environment anymore. So that would be maybe a better description of what we actually are,
Hmm.
is because we were never
Pretty
brothers in
much.
law, but
Yeah,
yeah, either way, it's awesome.
yeah. Fudge
Fudge and
plus
caramel. Oh
caramels.
gosh, Laura, please, please, please come back and tell us more about that. Or next week, or when
Please
you
come
come
back
back to the
tomorrow and
show.
tell us more.
I want to hear about the fudge and the caramels. And sure, the social media sounds good too.
Yeah, Jake is like you dangle food in Jake's like general direction, and he
Yeah,
just can't wait.
that's
Yeah.
my sweet tooth. It actually has a label, has its own little like sign. Sweet tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right,
So let's go start the days. I gotta go sit. You have a bunch of stuff to do. I'm gonna ping you later on this afternoon and make sure you got
please,
those HubSpot things done. Okay.
please. Thank you very
Uh,
much.
so thanks to Laura for coming to hang out. It was nice to meet you.
Thanks, Laura.
Michael, always good to see you, my friend. Michelle, you're awesome. I can't wait to see you. Is that next week? You're gonna be in town? That's crazy.
Yes.
Mike Tal, Gabe, everybody. Brian, I hope
Thanks
you
for
have a
having me.
good round of golf today, sir. I hope you.
Yep. Hope you're
I
already
hope
there.
you. Yeah, I hope you shoot all the holes. We'll just put it that way. Abed, we'll see you tomorrow. And yeah, you guys all have good days. Go out and make it as productive as possible so that way you can end the week strong because that's tomorrow. So y'all have a great,
Yep.
great day. See you, everybody.
Toodles.
Cheers. Toodles.